Night 2 of WrestleMania has come to its end. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be honest. Other than the Otis and Mandy, and Drew and Brock, there really wasn't much. There wasn't really much to say. There are a few things that we could talk about, but other than that, there's a lot to talk about. There may not be much to talk about, but there is a lot to talk about. So the first things first, we had the pre-show of Liv Morgan and Natalya. This was a fine match. It wasn't too terrible. Liv Morgan would walk away with the victory via roll-up. I could see a Natalya heel turn. I could see Natalya turning heel, but other than that, I don't know. WWE also was advertising Money in the Bank. I highly doubt Money in the Bank. Like, here's the thing about Money in the Bank. I was told that Money in the Bank was getting cancelled. I was told that Money in the Bank is going to get cancelled because of the coronavirus. And it made sense. To me, it made sense, but it seems like they're going through with Money in the Bank. And it seems to be on May 10th. It seems like they're going to be going through with it. And it's crazy. It really is crazy to think that this is exactly what they're going to do. But it is what it is. Seems like they're going to be going through with Money in the Bank. If I had to pick who should win Money in the Bank, I would definitely have Sasha Banks win the women's Money in the Bank, especially after what we saw. And as for the men, I would possibly give it to either Andrade. Well, actually, he's United States champion because the bloody guy never loses it. Like, the guy can, like, Andrade can get suspended and break his ribs, and he can still be, he can still hold the championship. But if it was anybody else that got suspended or broke a rib, they'd be stripped immediately. But whatever. Who do I see winning the men's? I think maybe AJ Styles. Maybe he wins it. But other than that, I'm not really sure about Money in the Bank. I still think it may get cancelled, but if it doesn't, then we'll see how they go with it. The first match was Charlotte and Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. Great match! This was a very good match. I really enjoyed this match. The storytelling was pretty good. Charlotte was working on Rhea's late knee. And Rhea did the riptide on Charlotte. Charlotte would end up kicking out. And Charlotte ends up winning. I mean, here's the thing. I'm honestly shocked. I mean, I shouldn't be. I at the same time, I really shouldn't be. Like, listen, I love Charlotte. You guys know I love Charlotte. But I have to disagree this one time. I love Charlotte. I love it when she wins. I love it when she wins championships. But I have to disagree on this one. Rhea Ripley is 23 years old. Rhea Ripley is 23 years old. She's got a long career ahead of her. Giving Rhea Ripley a victory over Charlotte would have been incredible for her career. This pretty much proves that they're trying to keep Charlotte away from the Raw Women's Championship, because if there was anyone they could have picked for Charlotte to dethrone Becky, it would have been Charlotte. But I feel like they could go with Nia. They could do a Nia Becky feud for the Raw Women's Championship. But I feel like they're going to continue on with Shayna Baszler. But Charlotte winning, I have to disagree on. I feel like Rhea really deserved that win more than Charlotte. Charlotte is always given, WrestleMania moments. Just like what I said in my yesterday's video about Alexa Bliss. WWE always go back to people like Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. They always go back to these two women when they're done playing with new toys. When they're done playing with their new toys, they'll put Bliss and Charlotte back in the championship picture. They'll put them back in the championship picture. They'll put belts around their waists because they love Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, and they love pissing everybody off by constantly shoving belts down these two. They constantly love shoving belts down their throats, so that's what they'll do. So that's what they did here. Charlotte is now an 11-time women's champion. She's now won her 11th women's championship. I don't know. I have to disagree on this. This was a bad move. This was a bad move by WWE. They should not have done that. They should have... But listen, the match was good, and I wouldn't say Rhea Ripley was buried. Rhea Ripley was nowhere near any shape or form buried. I wouldn't consider her buried at all. I think Rhea had a great performance, and I think her performance was that great, I can't really consider it a burial. People consider losing to Charlotte Flair as a burial, but I don't really consider it a burial. I think Rhea had a very good match, and, you know, I don't think she's buried. I think she'll get a rematch, and I think when she gets her rematch against Charlotte, I think she'll regain it. I think Rhea Ripley will regain the belt. And the other reason why they put the title on Charlotte is because apparently they think putting Charlotte in NXT is going to help NXT's ratings against AEW, I guess. I don't think Charlotte's going to do any favors. Like, putting Charlotte in NXT isn't really going to help the ratings either. But, I mean, come on, it's Charlotte. I mean, dude, the NXT doesn't really need Charlotte. NXT doesn't need Charlotte. NXT doesn't need Finn Balor either. They're only having these big stars go down to NXT because they're trying to find a way to beat AEW. But at the same time right now, we're in a pandemic. Right now, it shouldn't be about beating AEW. Right now, it should be all about keeping everybody safe. You can worry about beating AEW another time. But I feel like that's the reason why they gave the belt to Charlotte. I'm stunned that Vince McMahon has given up Charlotte Flair to NXT. He's sending Charlotte to NXT. It is crazy to think he's doing that. It is crazy to think he is actually doing that. Is Rhea Ripley getting called up? Probably not. I think we already did get our call up after what happened a little bit later on. But other than that, there's really nothing left for me to say about this match. It was a great match, but I'm very disappointed about the outcome. Next was Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley had this won. He actually had this match won. He was about to go for the Dominator. But then Lana, stupid Lana, Little Miss Dancer on TikTok, goes ahead and tells Bobby Lashley, no. Put him down. Do the spear. So Lana tells Bobby to do a spear. Bobby agrees. He puts down Aleister. He goes for a spear. And what happens? Black Mass. He runs straight in to the Black Mass. And that ultimately led to Bobby Lashley's downfall. And if this sets up Bobby Lashley and Lana's breakup, all I want to say is, then what was the point in torturing us for the last 4 or 5 months of this garbage of Lana getting with Bobby Lashley? What did you torture us for all those months with this love angle? And now you want to split them up? God, it is so... I mean, that is by far the most silliest thing I've ever seen. That is the most silliest thing I've ever seen. You torture us for about good... through You torture us for months with the whole Bobby Lashley, Lana, Rusev angle, and then now you want to break them up. Ridiculous. Next up was one of my favorite matches of the night, and that is Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. And Sonya Deville was at ringside with Dolph Ziggler. And Sonya Deville would actually, throughout the match, but then Sonya Deville would actually get up and on the apron and distract Otis because he was about to do the caterpillar, and then Dolph Ziggler would kick Otis right in his heavy machineries, right between the legs, kick him right between the legs, and Sonya was cheering on Dolph, and then all of a sudden we hear that sexy cue, Mandy. Out came Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. You see Sonya Deville's head turning. She's got that look of, oh shit. She's got that oh shit look on her face. So Mandy Rose comes walking down, then she slaps Sonya right in the face, brawls with her for a while, throws a couple of punches. She throws Sonya Deville in the ring to distract the referee, and then Dolph Ziggler gets all frustrated at Mandy Rose being out there, and then Mandy punches Dolph Ziggler right between the legs, or as I like to call it, Mandy punched Dolph right in his Zigglers. He punched him right in his Zigglers, which led to Otis doing the caterpillar and the 1, 2, 3, and Mandy and Otis embrace. Otis picks up Mandy, and they kiss. What a beautiful moment. This was absolutely beautiful. I am growing on Otis. I know there may be some rare occasions where there may be some people out there that may not like Otis. I really like Otis. I love Mandy. You know, when I first saw Mandy, you know, a lot of people compared her to Eva Marie. I liked Mandy because of her looks when she first came in. And then when I saw her first match, I was like, you know, she can get better. And then when she got called up to the main roster, she's gotten so much better. She's gotten so much better as an in-ring performer. And I love Mandy so much more. This Mandy Rose is by far one of my favorite females on the roster. And now that she's a babyface, something that I've actually been wanting for a long time. Mandy Rose as a babyface, and sure, people like to talk about how there should have been a crowd, and you know what? I'll agree. For this segment with Otis and Mandy, I wish there was a crowd. I wish there was a fan base, because I feel like, you know, the heel heat that Sonya Deville would be getting from being revealed as the one behind the text message. Fans would be booing her. Fans would be calling her an SLUT. And Michael Cole was calling Dolph and Sonya two of the most despicable human beings, because a videotape caught them red-handed. And to be fair, I felt like this deserved a crowd. I feel like this did deserve a crowd, and Mandy Rose would become one of the most over baby faces. She has that Kelly vibe, and I think it's starting. I think we're about to see Mandy Rose really adapt into that babyface role. But now the big question is, what happens next in this Otis and Mandy storyline? What happens next? I feel like the Otis and Dolph stuff, I feel like that's done. I feel like there's no reason to continue on with it. I feel like Dolph and Otis need to stay out of this feud from this point on and focus solely on Mandy and Sonya. Some people may think, why not do a mixed tag? Why not do a mixed tag as the next part of the storyline? I would just rather it be Mandy and Sonya. I would rather it be Mandy and Sonya, because Otis got his revenge. Otis got his payback on Dolph Ziggler. Why would you need to do a mixed tag? Why would you need to do a mixed tag when Otis got his revenge? I feel like now it's time for Mandy to get her revenge on Sonya. Mandy and Sonya should really feud for at least a couple of months. So yeah, I feel like this was one of the best storylines on SmackDown. I'm not sure if it's over. But, you know, it's just been so good. It's been so good. I've been enjoying it. And, congrats to Otis. Man, I wish I was Otis. Kissing that beautiful, beautiful woman. I wish I was Otis. Next match we had was the last old man standing match. Edge versus Randy Orton. I didn't like it. I didn't like this match, and I thought this match was very, 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 very boring. Yes. One of the most hyped matches in WWE turned out to be nothing more than a slow, boring... It was just so... I'm not going to say it was bad. I just think it was so slow and so boring. It was just so boring. There was nothing exciting going on. There wasn't a lot of big high spots. The big problem with this match was the commentary. The commentary was possibly the worst thing about this match. You'd hear Tom Phillips being all like, "Oh my God, Edge is about to do this," and then you'd feel like Byron Saxton being like, "Randy Orton really methodically destroying Edge." Like they were talking quietly. Like they feel like the world was on the line. And this match went for 36 minutes and 35 seconds. This was one of the longest matches, and it was boring. I wasn't enjoying it. I was tuning out every now and then. I was tuning out of this match. You guys know my personal feelings about this match. You know how I personally feel about this match. I called this one of the most predictable storylines, and it was. And I still stick by my words, is that this was so predictable. Randy Orton losing. Sure, there was some good storytelling in there. Some people talk about it. There was good storytelling. You know what? I'll give that a positive for this match. Just so then I don't sound like a little moany whinger that I completely hate the match. There was good storytelling. In the match. How Edge didn't want to do it, didn't want to hit the concerto on Orton because they were longtime friends, but he eventually did it, which led to Edge's victory. And to me, it was very, very boring and very, very slow. It just wasn't good. I'm sorry. It just wasn't good, and it was just so boring. It just went on for way too long. Way too long. Way too long. Next we had the Street Profits defending their tag team titles against Angel Garza and Austin Theory. I have a theory that Austin Theory looks like a created superstar from WWE 2K. Street Profits win. And Angel Garza and Austin Theory attack Montez Ford after the match, and then Zelina Vega comes into the ring. And this is where things got a little interesting. Zelina Vega got a cheap shot in on Montez Ford, and then out came the toughest, the baddest, the strongest, the fastest, and every other word that you can think of with EST at the end. The EST, Bianca Belair, came out and attacked Zelina Vega for putting her hands on her husband. And Bianca Belair's on the main roster, and it's cool to see Bianca. It really is cool to see Bianca now make it to the main roster. But I'm sorry, I really, really, really don't like her being with the Street Profits. I really don't. I mean, I want her on her own. And no, not against a wall. And not when the pressure's building and she'll never fall. Not that. I would rather her be herself. I would rather her be herself, be her own character, be the EST. Be the character she's always been in NXT. I don't want her becoming a member of the Street Profits. I don't want her becoming a manager for the Street Profits. I feel like she just needs to be herself. That's what she needs to be. I don't want her being stuck in a bubble with the Street Profits. I know some people may like it, but honestly, it's just one of the most typical things that WWE would do. Oh, your husband, your wife, oh, we'll put you together. WWE always put the boyfriends and girlfriends / husbands and wives together. Mike and Maria are the best example. So is Miz and Maurice. Like John Cena and Nikki Bella when they were dating. And Daniel Bryan and Bray Bella. Like, they do it all the time. Sooner or later, it will be happening to Zelina Vega and Aleister Black. Sooner or later, it will be happening to those two. And sooner or later, it will be happening to Charlotte and Andrade. They always do it. They always put husbands and wives together because they think, oh, it makes good storytelling. It doesn't. You're ruining Bianca's character. I haven't watched a lot of Bianca, but the things that I've seen, I have seen a couple of matches, but overall, I haven't really been impressed of Bianca Belair as an in-ring performer. And, you know, she has gotten better. But, you know, other than that, I haven't really watched a lot of Bianca Belair, and I want to see more. I want to see more of Bianca Belair. I want to see her compete on Monday Night Raw and compete. Like, I want her to be on the main roster. I've been wanting her on the main roster, but seeing her with the Street Profits, to me, is just something I don't want to see. She needs to be on her own. She needs to be challenging Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. If they don't give the belt to Shayna Baszler, I definitely see them doing Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. But if not Ronda Rousey, I would do Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. And it seems like Bianca Belair's a face now because as I said, she defended her husband against Zelina Vega. So I guess we're probably going to get a match between Bianca Belair and Zelina Vega. Look, I love Zelina. Me personally, I love Zelina. She's definitely one of those ladies I really like. I want to see more of Zelina Vega. I want to see Zelina Vega wrestle more. Zelina is definitely someone I really like. And it's a darn shame that this is what we're getting. And I really don't want Bianca Belair with the Street Profits, because I know not many people would not want to see the EST becoming a manager for the Street Profits. Bayley defends her SmackDown Women's Championship in a Fatal 5-Way. I was confident in this match, but at the end of the day, when it came down to Bayley, Banks, and Evans, that's when I ultimately knew. It was ultimately going to lead to the one thing I feared most. Sasha Banks once again losing at WrestleMania. So it's okay for Alexa Bliss to get her WrestleMania moment, but Sasha can't have hers. Whatever. I'm not surprised. Of course, Alexa has to get things before Sasha. Not surprised at all. But Bayley ended up retaining, which this was kind of the direction I was expecting them to go, honestly. But the thing about this match is that Bayley and Sasha teased. We're doing a little bit of a tease, and Sasha, what led to Sasha's elimination, was arguing with Bayley, and Bayley was like, "Look, I'll tell you, I'll explain this to you later," and then you'd see the look on Sasha's face as she's wrapping that championship around Bayley, and you could just see Sasha having that look of Like she's gonna portray her. She's got that look of like she's going to portray Bayley. So she had that look on her face. She had that look. She had that look. And honestly, I've been pushing for Sasha Banks to be the babyface, but from the story that they've been telling, it doesn't seem like that's probably what they're gonna do. It just seems like they're probably gonna go with Bayley. And me personally, I don't want Bayley as a babyface. I can't stand Bayley, babyface Bayley. I can't stand babyface Bayley, hug life Bayley. I don't like that Bayley. I would rather Sasha Banks be the babyface because I prefer Bayley as a heel. I prefer Bayley as a heel. I would rather Bayley. If they're gonna turn Bayley babyface, keep her the way she is. Don't have her grow her hair back and bring her back to ponytail. Don't need to bring back the hug life shit. Leave her the way she is. If you are going to turn Bayley babyface, leave her the way she is. Leave her with the short hair. Leave her with the role model character. The character of the role model. That her current role model character. That's the character she's playing. Leave her as the role model. I don't want her to be transforming back into Hug Life Bayley and she brings back the Bayley buddies and all that garbage. Keep her as she is. If you're going to turn her babyface, just keep her as she is. But other than that, I really still am hoping they go with Sasha Banks as the babyface. But after what we've been seeing, maybe that's not going to be the case. Maybe they're going to keep Sasha as the heel. Next up, we had probably one of the worst matches I think I have ever seen at WrestleMania. The Firefly Funhouse match between The Fiend Bray Wyatt and John Cena. I personally didn't like this. You guys thought my distaste in the Boneyard match? You guys didn't think the Boneyard match? I didn't like the Boneyard match. Well, I didn't like this either. This Firefly Funhouse match was more like let's torment John Cena. That's basically what this was. And it was like Bray Wyatt was messing with John Cena and pretty much going through all of John Cena's past and all the things that he's done. Like all of his failures. Like his opening gimmick, the ruthless aggression. It looked like they rehearsed the ruthless aggression when John Cena made his debut when he debuted against Kurt Angle. They redid the whole NWO thing when Bray Wyatt was pretending to be Eric Bischoff and John Cena was pretending to be Hulk Hogan. They did a angle where Bray Wyatt was pretending to be Hulk Hogan, I guess, and John Cena was doing weights pretending to be Roddy Piper, I think it was. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. People would know what the hell was going on more than I was. I was just dead confused. And I was like, wow, I'm really not liking this. This wasn't even a match. Just like with the Boneyard match, it wasn't even a match. Bray Wyatt would tell John Cena to smack him with a chair and he'd ultimately disappear. Like I said, this match was pretty much the let's mess around with John Cena. Let's play mind games with John Cena. That's pretty much what this whole match was. It was the let's just play around with John Cena and mess with this guy's mind. And in the end, the Fiend did appear, and he would deliver the Man of a Claw on John Cena, and he would get the pinfall with Bray Wyatt as the referee. So the Fiend ends up beating John Cena in a Firefly Funhouse match, which wasn't even a match. It only just became a match right at the end. I don't like these. I really don't like these movie type matches. I really don't. These movie type matches, I'm just not a fan of these. I'm just not a fan of these movie type matches. Like when I was told when the Firefly Funhouse match existed, I thought it was going to be very, very similar to Randy Orton's House of Horrors match. I thought it was going to be very similar to that. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was very similar I thought it was going to be very similar to Randy Orton's House of Horrors match with Bray Wyatt, but it was nothing like that at all. It was nothing like that at all. It really wasn't. And it just sucked. It really sucked. It really did suck, and I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it. And finally, the main event: Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. This was the most deserving main event in WrestleMania history, in my opinion. Drew McIntyre defeating Brock Lesnar to become the WWE Champion. Fantastic. Fantastic. Great job, WWE. Perfect job. Great job. And, here's the thing, right? A lot of people, because of the coronavirus, a lot of people were considering this WrestleMania to possibly be one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. Do you people still believe that? Honestly, after watching Night 1 and Night 2, do you guys honestly think this will be considered one of the worst WrestleManias of all time? I don't think so. I think this was a good WrestleMania. I thought this was good. Despite that there's no people, I thought this was really good. Thought this was good. There was, like I said, I loved the Otis and Mandy stuff. Drew McIntyre becoming WWE Champion, finally living his dream. His destiny has been realized. And other than that, I just thought it was good. I just thought this WrestleMania was really good. Other than the Funhouse and Boneyard match, other than those two simulation movie matches, I thought WrestleMania was good. So hit that thumbs up if you guys did enjoy. Comment your thoughts down below, and I will see you all tomorrow. I'm thinking tomorrow is there's gonna be an episode of Raw. I think there's an episode of Raw taped, Raw After Mania. So if there is a Raw After Mania, I will see you guys tomorrow. Till then, take care of yourselves and stay safe.